Hey, I'm Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to discuss my favorite mechanism in the game Sea Dragons, which I have right here, thanks to my coworker Susanna, who's letting me borrow this game. So Sea Dragons, you can't really tell from looking at it exactly, but Sea Dragons is a polyomino game. You can kind of tell it from these cards. Basically, on your turn in Sea Dragons, you are going to choose one of these cards from your hand, and you're going to place these nice little wooden meeple tokens down in the shape shown on that card, such that it touches either the center island or touches an opponent's dragon. You cannot be orthogonally adjacent to your own dragon. And this is why you may have seen in the video description that I'm comparing this game a little bit to Blockus. This is like Blockus, but plus some other things. The core element in Blockus is that you're replacing polyomino shapes so that they touch your own they touch like the corners of your other polyomino shapes, but they can't share an edge with one of your polyominoes. So similarly here, you cannot place your dragons in such a way that they share an edge with your other dragons. Now, the point of doing this in Sea Dragons is very different than in Blockus. In Blockus, you're trying to get rid of all of your pieces, trying to fit as many of them on the board. And that's actually kind of still the same in Sea Dragons, but the point in Sea Dragons is to place your dragons in such a way that they cover up things on the board. Most things. In that you are trying to devour these ships. There are these ship tokens that are randomly placed around the board, different colors of ships, and you're trying to place your dragons on top of those ships to devour them because you can spend those ships to convert them into points using these, what do they call them? Mission cards. Your Sea Dragons going on missions. You gain these mission cards. You're also trying to cover up gold. There are some coins in there, so you're adding to your dragon's hoard. And there's also coral that you're trying to cover up. I guess you're eating the coral essentially, and you're getting special bonus cards. That's this type of card, or this is one of those types of cards. They're random. You get to draw two, pick one. And so, similar to Blockus, you're just trying to place a bunch of polyomino shapes on the board to cover as much space as possible. But the exact space that you cover in Sea Dragons is very specific because you're trying to gather these things as you place your tiles. You're not really placing tiles. You're placing your tokens in the shape of the cards that you're playing. I really enjoyed the simplicity of the play. And really, what I'm getting at as my favorite mechanism is that it takes this Blockus mechanism that I really, really enjoy. That is a very specific polyomino mechanism. And it applies it in a new way to with a theme, this theme of Sea Dragons, to collecting things that mean different things. Like I just explained, the gold. And actually, you spend the gold because every now and then you have to cross over whirlpools, which you don't want to cover up. And also these dividing lines. You have to spend 2 coins to cross over any of those things. And so you have to have the gold to even consider placing a shape that crosses over those different shapes or those different icons on the board. So I like this puzzle of just trying to cover up different things and sometimes very specific things that you want. For example, in my first play of the game, I really liked the idea, because there's an area majority element of the game, I like the idea of gathering these cards from the coral, from covering coral, because within that coral deck are some hidden dragon cards, some secret dragon cards, that when you reveal for area majority, you get to reveal these cards and say, hey, I have a secret dragon lurking in the depths of this specific region, and it will contribute to my majority scoring in that region. So I dug through this deck quite a bit. I went way after coral to try to gather those cards and have those secret dragons. It worked out a little bit. Another player went after money. They tried to gather a lot of money so that they could have dragons that spanned across these streams, these dividing lines, because those dragons counted as if they were in both of those territories for the area control. And another player went after the mission. So we actually each went after the 3 paths to victory in three focused ways. Another player really went after these missions, gathered a lot of points from it, and they were actually the winner for that. But I think any of those strategies, or a mix of them, the right mix of them, is the right mix for a winning strategy in Sea Dragons. So yeah, this is my favorite mechanism, this idea of Blockus, where you're trying to cover up specific things on the board that other players might get to first if you're not careful. That's my favorite mechanism of the game. Let's see if there's anything else in my notes that I wanted to mention. No, that's it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you have played Sea Dragons, let me know in the comments below. Thanks.